Okay, I am going to start my timer now. Let's go 1 minute 30 seconds. In this video, what I want to show you is how I answer questions. How they score brilliantly. I scored 12 out of 12 in my CELPIP exam. And what is my thought process when I'm saying all these things while watching my time? I want to show you everything that goes through my head and that comes out of my mouth, and how I'm able to keep everything structured while constantly watching the time and doing answers naturally. This attempt that I did is for question number 7. The question was, should history be taught in schools or not? That's a debate question, question 7. You have 90 seconds for this answer. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to play my complete answer. If you talk like this, nobody is going to stop you from scoring a CLB 10. So first, listen to the answer. Then I'll break down the answer into different parts. I'll tell you what I did really well. I'll brag about that. And I'll also tell you where I sucked. What are the things I could have done better? I'll evaluate myself, but also tell you the way I'm speaking and how I'm thinking while I'm speaking, so you can deliver answers just like these. Let's play this sample answer, 1 minute 30 seconds. Okay, I am going to start my timer now. Let's go 1 minute 30 seconds. Whether or not history should be still taught in schools has been a thought-provoking question for a while. I'm of the opinion that this is a subject that should be completely eliminated as we prioritize things that are more important. Mainly, we have limited time. In this limited time, we cannot simply study everything. We have to prioritize things like technology, finance, or even subjects where sports are involved, which can actually have practical world implications. We cannot prioritize history within the limited time we have during school, hence, just based on what is more important, we should prioritize other subjects. Moreover, history itself statistically has never shown any material success in practical life. Students who study history are not linked with successful people. They don't go on to achieve big materialistic things or fortunes. Hence, once again, there is no direct link between success and studying history, which makes the subject completely obsolete. Finally, even in our country, if we continue with history, there are other countries that are already moving into AI and other new world technologies in schools. We need to follow that, otherwise we'll just be left behind in the global race. Based on these reasons, I firmly believe that history as a subject should be completely abolished from schools. Okay. I'm going to say something because I know this has happened to me before in the comment section. You have probably practiced this question and you're reading off the screen. At the end, it seriously looks like I'm reading off the screen, but I promise you, this was my first attempt. You can see I started the timer and I spoke. I'm probably just looking at the screen at the play pause button. But this is a natural attempt. This is what I would do in the exam as well. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to be conservative. I'm going to score myself 10 out of 12 here, not 12. And there's some reasons behind that. So let's discuss. First of all, let's look at our starting. Actually, before we do that, I want to tell you, as you saw with the time, it finished at exactly 1 minute 30 seconds, so 90 seconds. And while I was looking at the time, I'm always targeting 1 minute 25 seconds. So every answer I do, I try to finish 5 seconds before. Now around that time, I was doing the conclusion, so I was really in control of my words, and I knew that I could nail it around exactly 129, 130. So there I could have stopped, made my conclusion shorter, or I could have continued, okay? So this thing about looking at the time constantly, and I was showing that to you as well, it's really helpful. Now in the exam, you have the loading bar, so you don't see exactly the digital time, but at home you practice with the digital time or our mock tests interface. Both fine-tune you for the real exam. Okay, so let's get started, and it starts in about like 4 seconds, so let's go here. 1 minute 30 seconds. Whether or not history should be still taught in schools has been a thought-provoking question for 2 things here. Whether or not, And the second thing is, has been a thought-provoking question. So number one, whether or not when you do this, first of all rephrases the question, which shows that you have understood the content, you know exactly what you're supposed to talk about. It's also a longer sentence than just saying the topic of this has been whatever. So this gives it a complex start. Now, when you say things like it's a thought-provoking, this adjective itself is a solid adjective. It is academic, and it's in your first sentence. Guess what? That is your first impression, and now you have rephrased the topic successfully. I'm of the opinion. And has been a thought-provoking question for a while. All right, not just saying has been a thought-provoking question, full stop, for a while, just to add that natural tone. Now, I'm saying I'm of the opinion that. So this is me giving the examiner my thesis. This is my opinion, and I'm going to pick one side. And you always have to pick one side and defend it with 3 points. So we're building our structure starting with the opinion. This is probably the most important step. Say your opinion clearly. This is a subject that should be completely eliminated as we prioritize things that are more important. So completely eliminated, I'm using these words on purpose. Number one, it's an adverb, so it helps me get more range of vocab. Number two, in this question, speaking task 7 of the CELPIP speaking exam, you have to be assertive. Your tone has to change based on the question type. Here, your tone is assertive. You're strong. You're really explaining your point with force. So it's not like I think it's kind of a good thing if we don't teach history. No, I completely believe I firmly stand by my stance that use those kinds of words. Let's keep going. Mainly, we have limited time. In this limited time, we cannot simply study everything. Okay. See how, in my opinion, I said I think I said something like we have to prioritize other stuff. And that's because my first point, this is what I thought in my preparation time, is going to be something about us having limited time. We cannot just give all time to history. We got to do other stuff. So I said that in my opinion. I didn't just say this is my opinion. I said, it's based on what we can prioritize. Now my very next point is elaborating on that. And that shows good flow. Let's keep going. We have to prioritize things like technology, finance, or even subjects where sports are involved, which can actually have practical world implications. Good examples, right? Technology, sports, finances. Use examples to open up your answer. We cannot prioritize history within the limited time we have during school. Hence, just based on what is more important, we should prioritize other subjects. I like my tone there. I love it. It's like we cannot do this. Hence, based on this, we have to prioritize. This is the assertive tone you need in part 7. One thing I did not like right now is how quickly I said hence. Okay? Like the concluding sentence of this point was hence, I think. There should have been a pause between this hence sentence and the previous sentence that just ended. And I'll tell you why this happened. I was looking at the time and it went slightly over than where I wanted to be at this time. I wanted to finish point 1 slightly faster. And what I could have done is started with a complex sentence starter, which would be something like while, considering, given that. If I did that, I could have said multiple things quicker. Okay, I could say while we have limited time, we need to understand that other things take priority, such as sports, technology, and so on. So using complex sentences, examiners want you to do this not only because it gives you a range, but it actually helps you summarize 2 sentences into 1. Okay, so while, given that, due to, I should have started with that. And I would suggest you do the same. I was still able to finish on time, but like here, there was a little rush towards the end. That's what I didn't like. Let's go to our next point. Moreover, history itself. Now, moreover, right? So I'm not using words like firstly, secondly. The first point started with mainly. This is starting with moreover, advanced words. Statistically has never shown any material success in. Now, again, assertive tone, using words like statistically has never shown it explains your process that much better. And it's, again, a strong way to defend your point. And you can make up things. You can make up your own statistics in this answer or throughout the exam. The actual content doesn't really matter. It doesn't have to be facts. The way you say it is important.
Life. Students who study history are not linked with successful people. They don't go on to achieve big materialistic things or...
Now, I didn't like this. Big materialistic I like, but things, I wouldn't like to say things. It's a basic word. Instead, what I could have said was, let's say, instead of big material things, I could say they don't get enough material success, or they don't have a list of materialistic objectives, or they don't do well in the material world. I try not to use the word things because it's basic. However, there, couldn't think of anything else while I was saying that sentence.
Hence, once again, there is no direct link between success and studying history, which makes the subject completely obsolete.
I love my conclusion here and in the last point. There's no link between this and this, and that is why this. So at the end of this point and the previous point, I'm always wrapping it up with proof. Like, look, this is why my opinion that I said initially makes sense because of what I just explained. And this whole point overall, the second point, was so well explained. It was, hey, there's no link there's no material success with history. And then statistically, we haven't seen people who have history studies be really successful in life. And hence, if there's no link, then why are we still doing it, right? What I did not like is, again, that hence. This is the second time that I'm having a problem with the hence. This time I did pause before saying hence. I just said hence again, and I don't like that. I should use different words. I shouldn't be repetitive. I could have said thus or therefore or a bunch of other things. So that could have been better.
Finally, even in our country, if we continue...
Now there, it's 1 minute, 10 seconds-ish right now. I'm glad I was able to do this third point quick and it didn't seem rushed. So I was in control and I was watching the time really carefully because I didn't want to go over time here. But around this time, I would have liked to be around 1 minute or 1 minute 5 seconds. I was a little over, and this is a ripple effect of doing that large point number one. So point number one should have been a little conservative, but still I managed to keep my cool here and do this point.
History, there are other countries that are already moving into AI and other new world technologies in schools. We need to follow that, otherwise we'll just be left behind in the global race.
So again, giving real world examples and making this a complex sentence. This time it's a little different than how I did my other points. This time it's more like a threat. If you don't do this, then this would happen. I use the word otherwise. Otherwise, this would be the result. So this gives me another layer of phrasing, and examiners love layers and range. Now I gotta do my conclusion. I got 9 seconds left.
Based on these reasons, I firmly believe that history as a subject should be completely abolished from schools.
There you go. So you got to do a short conclusion because the time is short, and that conclusion does not seem rushed. It is assertive. It is firm. Based on this, I firmly believe that da-da-da, and then wrap it up. There you go. That answer would score a 10 itself the way it is right now if I fixed those two henses. I don't think that alone would bring... Well, that could, yeah, because there are no other mistakes. Otherwise, the answer is perfect itself. Then I would say it would bring me to 11. After that, there are really no mistakes. So I usually say a perfect score without mistakes is 10 or 11. Then you would look at other things like tone. Well, that is perfect as well. Very assertive. The quality of points, description, on point, no grammar mistake. Words could have been more advanced, so not many. There were not many basic words that I used. In fact, I did use a range, but a small thing like saying things, I could have done better there. Instead of saying hence twice, definitely could have used another connector there. Those are two very minor things. It's not even a mistake, but it's an area of improvement. Plus, if I was more in control of the first option or the first point, and I would have wrapped it up quicker, that would have helped to show my control and tone. However, that's something that I know that I could have done better. For the examiner who is listening to this answer, I did not sound rushed throughout any part, even until the conclusion, and I wrapped up the whole answer, giving each point its dedicated respect and description. So now it really depends on that examiner if they feel that I could have done my points organization better, or if they're satisfied with it, which could lead me to a 12 or 11 after those couple of fixes. So that's where I am. 10 out of 12 is what I'll give myself, but I could get 11 out of 12 too. I think there's a very little chance I'd get 12 out of 12 here because there are some areas of improvement. And this is how I think and talk, and this is how I practice, and I would want you to practice the same way. I hope you learned from this video, and I hope you can implement the same strategies at home. If you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you very soon.